I found my what not to wear.
Okay.
Oh
Well,
my god.
viewers, you missed it, but she made the weirdest sound right before the recording started. So, with that said, I guess we can get right in to what not to wear and Project Runways. Felicia, would you like to kick it off?
Child, let me tell you something. George, in these overalls with these goggles? What the fuck?
Wait. I have not seen that. You need to send that immediately.
Hold on. Wait, I think
I need to see that expeditiously.
Oh my god. I'm gonna send it in the Instagram. I need y'all to see this. Okay, check the IG group because oh my god, sir.
Let's see.
Oh.
It's not real.
I'm sending you a
It's
picture of Nico Hulkenberg, and his face is my reaction.
Why would he wear it?
It was I think it was for a Ferrari photo shoot. Not Ferrari, it was for a Mercedes photo shoot with a vintage car. But like
he looks like a child, first off.
And George is so posh. George is so posh. They should have just put him in like a 1930s like business suit.
Yeah.
Like he's worn suits like that before and he looks good. I do not know why they put him in this little pilot.
Whenever this like hat helmet thing, it's
an aviator hat and it just does not eat. It just does
the whole
That's
thing
so
just
sad.
made
George
me say,
can
oh my god. If he did not hear. So sorry.
It's sad because he can.
Okay.
Yeah. What's your Project Runway?
So my Project Runway actually almost was my what not to wear until I saw the vision. And I know we choose this person every week, but you know what? I'm sorry, no one else eats down. Daddy Lewis in the Prada fit, very Matrix-esque. When I saw him walking down the paddock, though, I was like, what the fuck is this? I said, what is this? This looks terrible. It looks absolutely awful. Then later on, he did his own little photo shoot with it. And I think it was whatever the tire shop, wherever they keep the tires are. And it was very Matrix-esque. And I loved it. I was so here for it. So that's my Project Runway.
Lewis's pose is nasty. He knows the power of a pose.
It's what?
It's giving Wednesday Addams.
But I like it.
It does serve a little bit of...
But that's the thing. It's the reason it became my Project Runway is because he turned it around for me. Because at first I was like, this is not it.
Yeah, we were dragging him in the chat quite a bit.
Yeah. So sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. So sorry to that man.
So sorry to that man. I do have to say, Lewis is also my Project Runway, not for that outfit. I loved the like structured shoulder pad outfit he wore on race day.
He looked like a linebacker without his jersey on.
But I think it looked so angular and so avant-garde. And I loved it. I thought it was great. I love when Lewis does a fashion. You know? I love when he does a fashion moment. And I feel like that was very fashion with the swag, the panels, like, you know, he had it going on. He had a little
I'm looking at it again.
He had a look going.
But like, chest up, he still looks like a linebacker when they have, you know, the part that goes over and they don't have the jersey on yet.
And I think that's kind of a look.
Good.
I dare to say it's a look.
It's a look on him, that's for sure.
It definitely is a look on Lewis. My what not to wear has to be George Russell in what I assume is Tommy Hilfiger clothing, because if this is not a Tommy Hilfiger promo, George has no reason to wear that outfit if it is not a Tommy Hilfiger promo. It's him in that red, white, and blue, like, patriotic
It is Tommy Hilfiger
outfit. Okay, good. Because, in my opinion, to wear Tommy, you should not dress like the Tommy logo. And he just dressed like the Tommy logo. If you're telling me Tommy put you in that color block ass outfit, really? I also think that men shouldn't be able to wear white pants that aren't linen. I think we need to.
I'm not opposed to white pants. I just feel like they have to be styled a certain way.
I think that men's white pants should generally be a bit of a straight or a wide leg, personally. Like George earlier on in the week wore this tan sweater with white pants that I thought were an appropriate level.
George has a very square-shaped face. Sorry, I'm looking at him right now, and it's very square. Maybe that's why he looks weird in that.
So for mine, funny enough that Lewis in that structured outfit was your Project Runway, because he is definitely my what not to wear.
Oh my god. None of you bitches have vision. Nobody has vision on this call.
Pad with like a hole cut out the middle for his head. Like, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. I really root for him in almost all situations. That one I was rooting for him. I was rooting against him, and I was rooting against him very hard. So yeah, it's a no for me on that outfit, but anyway, moving on. So my Project Runway, I actually struggled with this one because it was slim pickings for Project Runway. This one is, to be honest, this is not a great outfit. It's just one that offended me the least. And that was, it's the one Lewis wore with the deep V.
The tan one?
Yeah. And that one, I have no idea who. Oh, it was Burberry. I was like, didn't need to be that low of a V.
Yes, it did.
I can appreciate.
Arguably, it could have been lower.
I can appreciate the cleavage.
Arguably, he could have gone belly button out. I would argue.
You know what? I would have appreciated if it was just a jacket with nothing underneath, rather than something that low cut. I wasn't the biggest fan of the pants, because I know Lewis likes these baggy pants for whatever reason, and these like lug boots, but it wasn't as offensive. I didn't like George's outfit. It's always giving me like he's trying to sell me. He's like they've taken him from like a catalog and they're trying to sell me something. And and his hair, the whole outfit, the swag, it just doesn't go. It doesn't work for me when it comes to George. So, and I really didn't get a chance to see anyone else. Everyone else seemed like they were just in their team gear. So yeah, Lewis gets Project Runway by default, to be honest. So
not default.
Lewis.
I'm trying to see if there's an F1 fashion page that like follows their fashion and is not like selling F1 merch. So if I ever find a consolidated location for us to look at their fashion, I will.
Yeah.
All I just think is you guys don't have avant-garde vision. None of you have vision.
No, because like I've seen avant-garde from Lewis and I've been like, yes. The kilt, yes.
Oh,
the purple look in Miami, yes. That like see-through mesh, whatever it was. I forget when it was, but
yeah, we know.
But that was just a no. And it looked unfinished, if I'm being honest.
We're moving on.
Okay,
cool. We are moving away from this disrespect.
Oh my
God. Anyway, so as far as F1 news, to kick us off, I want to talk about contracts. Because there has been a lot of messy boots contracting going on this week. Everything up and down the paddock. Everybody has been talking, has been moving, has been doing whatever. So, first thing that's not messy, and I don't know if we talked about this in the F1 news, because I can't remember if it had happened by that time, but Alex Albon extended his contract with Williams. So,
so he's staying where he is.
Staying where he is. That's barely a news. Who even knows?
No, I don't think so. But, snaps for him.
Hey, listen, you secured a seat.
More important contract news is who could be sitting next to Alex Albon next year. Because the rumors are that one own Valtteri Bottas and Pierre Gasly are both in contention for the Williams seat.
Interesting. I was actually, when Bottas' name was brought up, I was actually surprised.
Why?
Because, I don't know, to me, it feels like, I feel like for me, obviously from Valtteri going from Mercedes to whatever it was when he moved there, what was it?
Sauber.
I felt that was a big step down. I feel like going to Williams is an even bigger step down, and I feel like it also maybe shows he's. Well, let me back up. I'm not quite sure how contract negotiations went. If like Williams was reaching out to Valtteri, or if Valtteri was reaching out to Williams. But if it's Valtteri reaching out to Williams, it seems like a little bit of a desperate grasp to like find a seat on the grid for next year. If it's Williams, I wonder what's their motivation behind it, given that there's a possibility you could get like a young new driver on the grid. Well, maybe you want someone maybe a little bit more reliable next to Alex.
Well, I mean, they can't really afford to have like a young rookie who might be crashing their car every couple races. Like, they can't afford it.
Yeah, like half their bitching about Logan is that they don't have the fucking money to afford Logan. And I'm like, was Logan crash prone? Sure. But like, he was as crash prone as like Lance Stroll, who's not a rookie.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the, what do they call it? The deconstructors?
Yeah, the deconstructors.
Alex Albon is number one.
Because he fucking wrecked that chassis to high heaven.
Wait, they call it a deconstructors champion for basically who fucks up their car the most?
Who cost their team the most?
Cost most money.
Based on like their crashes.
Where can I find this?
It's like I have it for you, and I will send it to you.
I think.
Please.
I think I've sent it to you.
Send it again, because first off, y'all be flooding my everything.
Well, I think I sent it through Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. I'll go look for it one day.
One day?
Is that not Wednesday?
Shut up! This man alone. All you do is yap. Oh my god!
Leave him alone.
I just showed him a picture I found of Lewis walking, I guess, to the paddock, and he's giving Wednesday Adams in this product. Anyway, moving on. Sorry.
He looks good. Leave him alone.
Look at the Deconstructors Cup rank standings, but yeah, no.
I found it.
You found it?
I found it for this year. It is uploading. Right now, Alex Albon is in the lead with $2 million of damages.
Yeah.
That was after Miami, mind you. Daniel is at number 2 with $1.2 million. And our damageless kings, Esteban, Pierre, and Lewis, are at the bottom with no damages, supposedly.
Of course. Okay.
Yeah, that's why there's only like 3, I believe, now that haven't cost their team anything.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, I believe Lewis has done pretty well in not costing it, like not crashing and not personally costing.
Yes, you know what you mean.
There you go. English escapes me sometimes.
In more contract news, it appears through the grapevine that, as predicted by Afsa, a couple weeks ago.
Oh dear God!
Carlos Sainz has been left with only Audi as his reasonable landing location.
Jesus.
Checo is pretty much staying at Red Bull.
Are you sure about
Red Bull wants? Oh well, we'll get into that. Okay. But to be clear, Red Bull has offered Checo an extension.
Okay.
To be clear, we'll talk more about that later. And Mercedes still has him on the docket. They offered him a 1 year, but he's supposedly off of Toto's radar. As a quote from
Sainz.
Toto. Sainz is off of Toto's radar after the Imola GP, I believe it was. Maybe it was after Miami. But after one of these GPs, he's been off his radar. Supposedly. That's what they say.
Who said that?
Sainz?
A motorsport journal.
So I'm also wondering, like, what Carlos's strategy is, because it doesn't see. It's either he doesn't have one, or he has one and is actually implementing it poorly. Because I felt like when Lewis announced that he was going to Ferrari, Sainz was a hot commodity. I thought he was going to be a hot commodity, and it's like, I don't know if there's something going through the grapevine. Teams don't want him. Well, I know he kind of wants like a multi-year deal, but I don't know. I feel as though Carlos could have gotten a better option and just didn't go about it the right way. Seems like, unfortunately, and I don't think landing at. I like how we're just already calling the team Audi, but
because it is.
But I don't think Audi is going to be a horrible option for him, but I also I think a lot of people have a good. They feel like Audi is going to come in next year and be competitive, but we really don't know. I think it's just because, like, the name, is it Audi or Audi?
I thought it was Audi.
At least to us, it's Audi.
Okay.
Europeans call it Audi.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like Audi has, like, obviously the name recognition and they have the money, but we actually don't know how they are going to compete.
We don't know how they can build an F1 car.
I think that being his only landing spot, like sort of like an unknown, fresh competitor, I don't know if that's was the best strategy for Sainz to do.
Do you at all think that he wanted to go to Audi the whole time? No.
Like after he got fired or before?
Yeah, he was just like, I'm gonna kind of hold out and try and go to Audi. Do you think he wanted that?
Pre or post being fired? Like, if he had not been fired, do I think he would have left to go down?
No, post.
No, I don't think he would have left.
I don't think he would have left either. Him leaving Ferrari, I don't feel was his choice. Well, obviously, but it would not have been his choice.
Fred Vasseur outright said, "Oh, well, we had an open seat, and then we called up Lewis." So
yeah, I don't think it was his plan at all.
Okay, just a thought.
But yeah, I think that Audi is not a horrible choice.
Yeah,
but it is an obviously inferior choice to landing at Red Bull. Oh, now, is it an inferior choice to landing at Mercedes? Barely.
And honestly, it might not be.
It might turn out not. Mercedes might get cooked. Mercedes might get cooked in these new regulations, just like they got cooked this time.
Well, what is it about these regulations that messed Mercedes up so badly?
Well, it's two things. Okay. One, when you have a new regulation, like iteration, you can essentially like change your whole car. Like, it's a whole new car essentially.
Yeah.
And so Mercedes got so stuck in this idea that we're gods of engineering. We know how air flows better than everybody else. So we're going to build a car that quite literally makes no fucking sense to build. So that's problem number one. Problem number two is that supposedly, this is a rumor, this is speculation, it's a conspiracy. Mm-hmm. The FIA was tired of Mercedes winning everything.
Yeah.
And so they specifically made regulations that didn't fit their particular engineering strengths.
Gotcha.
Yeah. As far as what we got next on contracts, Yuki is supposedly going to Haas. Not going, sorry, he's on the Haas list.
I saw that. I was like, I think that would be. Yeah. I think that's
that for sure.
Good. I would love Yuki to stay on the grid.
I need Yuki on the grid. Yuki on the grid, and since Red Bull clearly can't get their heads out of their asses and realize that Yuki should be on the team instead of Daniel, somebody needs to take him. And Haas taking Yuki is perfectly acceptable to me.
Yeah.
Wait. I'm so sorry. We envision Haas taking Yuki?
Yeah. Well, Yuki is supposedly on the list of Haas for one of the seats. Yeah. So it could be him and Ollie Bierman, the most adorable team on the grid.
Not adorable. Let's not. Let's not.
Speak for yourself.
But you know, okay, they're two grown men. Let's not call two grown men cute.
I think you're a grown woman and you're cute.
Well, thanks. So are you.
See, Yuki's younger than you, and so is Ollie. Ollie's younger than every single person on this call.
How old is that child?
I think Ollie's like 19.
Oh, Jesus, he's an infant.
I could be wrong, though.
Yeah.
I could be lying to you. Ollie Bierman is 19. He was born in 2005.
And how old is Yuki?
Yuki might be my age. Let me check. He's 24 years old. He is my age.
Jeez.
He was born a couple months after me.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes. We're very fellow.
No.
Anyway, sorry, we got background work going on. I'm so happy if Yuki goes to Haas. I'm so happy if he goes anywhere as long as Yuki's on the grid. I #love Yuki. So it works for me.
But
we also sorry, what?
Nothing. I'm just laughing at.
Who do you think you can
this?
For viewers, Felicia hasn't had Wi-Fi all week. She's been working from a hotspot, so she has the Xfinity people.
Yeah, I think she forgot to mute her mic.
She did forget to mute her mic. Can producer Afsa mute her? Let's see. Producer Afsa can mute her.
Oh, nice.
So she'll be unmuted when she comes back. But the show must go on.
It must.
The show must go on because if we wait for her, that's more editing that I have to do. And that's simply unacceptable. Next up, as mentioned by Bex, Checo is in contract negotiations with Red Bull, because he supposedly wants a 2-year contract, and Red Bull only wants to give him a 1-year contract.
I don't know why. I was kind of surprised that they only wanted to give him a 1-year contract.
Yeah.
I was like, who do they have their eyes on then?
I feel like they have their eyes on like a hot young driver, you know?
That we don't fully have.
I feel like for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that if frickin' Kimi Antonelli turns out to actually be the next Max Verstappen, they are yanking Checo out of that seat so quick after a year and yanking Kimi right into it.
Okay,
because then it gives Kimi good development years alongside Max at the end of his contract, so that when Max retires, because we all know Max doesn't want to like spend forever in F1, bam, Kimi, top driver, head of the team, you know?
So you think that it's going to end up being Toto and Christian fighting over Kimi?
I think it's going to be a lot of people fighting over Kimi, but I mean, yeah, I think it just depends on what goes down, you know?
So, do we actually have a good idea of the type of driver that Kimi is going to be? Like, I feel like it's a lot of like, he may, he might, he could.
Well, because the streets were saying he's going to be the next Max Verstappen. Then he joined F2, and Prema decided to basically not make a car this year. And his F2 car is bad.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to see if he is the next Max Verstappen, quote unquote, because we all know how I feel about that statement.
But again,
because he has a shit car.
You can't even say he's the next Max Verstappen because Max didn't even sit in an F2 car.
Yeah. So I guess we're really asking if he's the next like Charles Leclerc.
Charles, really?
Charles won F2 in his rookie year.
Didn't George as well?
George, Charles, and there's one other person.
Okay.
No.
No.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
You didn't even give her the opportunity to contemplate what she was going to say.
I would like
No. I heard the L, and that's all he takes. So no, he did not win his rookie year. This is going to be really embarrassing if I type it and he did win his rookie year. So, but yes. So Checo, he's negotiating, you know. Fingers crossed for him, I guess.
I think the thing for me was just like, I was just surprised that they were only willing to offer him 1 year. Because I think he's obviously been like the best driver to drive along, Max. Wait. Yeah.
Huh?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Hey, guys. I may have slandered a bit too close to the sun.
What did you do? What did you do? What did you do?
Oh, wait, no. Did I slander? I did not. I don't believe that I slandered too close to the sun. Did I? Did I slander too close to the sun? Sorry, it is really hard to figure out if Lando won. Freaking no, he didn't. He didn't. He came second. I did not slander too close to the sun. Fuck Lando Norris. Always. Thank you very much. Thank you. I did not slander too close to the sun. He actually came second. Getting off to George Russell. So
anyway,
do with that what you will. Anyway, yeah, I feel like there's nothing much to say about the Checo negotiations. He's either going to get the 1 year or he's not. So good luck to Checo.
Jeez.
Last and most importantly, I would like to bring some conspiracy, some gossip, some almost fake news to the F1 news section because this is reported by Daily Mail.
Oh, God.
But Daily Mail is reported that Adrian Newey has signed with Ferrari, baby. Adrian Newey to Ferrari, all but confirmed as far as I'm concerned.
Let me tell you something. Fred Vasseur is walking around feeling his breeze, okay?
I have seen that news as well. And I've also seen everyone just saying, like, this man really could just be out here retiring and we're all like getting ready to turn to another team. And he could really just be ready to hang it up.
But F1 could have been the final straw for him in F1 in general, not just Red Bull. He might just be like, man, fuck it.
But why would you negotiate your gardening leave if you're going to retire? He negotiated a shorter gardening leave.
That is true.
So that he could
pause and reverse gardening leave.
The thing where you have to like take a break between F1 teams so you don't directly take secrets to the next F1 team.
Got you. Why do they call it a gardening leave?
Because the implication
takes time to tend to your garden.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, he went home to spend time with family and garden. And then he pops up in a new team.
So damn European. Okay.
For real. It's hilarious. But let's fingers crossed that he
I think Ferrari. If nothing else, like obviously I'm a Lewis fan, so I would love to see Lewis in a better car. But I also think just like competition wise, I would love to see Ferrari be more competitive, on the way. So
I mean, if they get Red Bull's car Jesus, they very well might be 1 and 2.
Let's pray.
Let us pray.
Let us pray. Our last piece of F1 news today, and it's not really news, but it's very funny social media content. Charles Leclerc is officially a father of 3. Yay!
Why? I am so tired of the internet and social media.
Charles Leclerc is a father of 3, and I will explain to
Did he get 2
why
more
Charles
animals?
No. So, as we all know, Charles Leclerc
he got a grown child.
Was a proud father of 1, having Leo Leclerc, his sweet little baby, his sweet little puppy baby. For those who don't also know, Ollie Bierman was adopted by Charles Leclerc after the Bahrain Grand Prix where he stood in for Carlos. He was adopted as his little sweet boy child. His Ferrari boy child.
What the fuck?
And then, this weekend, leading up to the Monaco Grand Prix, I know neither of you frequent F1 Twitter, but Oscar Piastri has been doing this running bit where every Grand Prix that shows up in his ancestry, he's like, I think he said he was 1/16.
He's 1/16 Chinese.
And so he was like, this is my 1/16th Grand home race. And then there was another one, I can't remember which one it was, where he was like, this is my 3/16 home race.
Is it Italian?
Yes. No. Yes, it was Italy. He was like, I'm 3/16 Italian, so this is my 3/16 home race. And then recently, it might have been 2 days ago, he tweeted, searching my ancestry report to find Monegasque roots. Charles Leclerc replies and goes, I can adopt you if needed. Oscar replies, okay, consider me Oscar Jack Piastri Leclerc.
Did you say
making him Charles' son? So Charles is a proud father of 3, and Charles has always said he wanted 3 kids anyway. So
wait. Where's 2? I know he got the dog. He got Oscar. Who's the other one?
Dog, Oscar, and Ollie. Ollie Bierman.
Oh, Ollie Bierman.
Sweet little Ollie. So shout out, congrats on the 3 babies.
This child is only 26-year-old. You're talking about he a father of 3. Hush.
You're acting like you don't know 26-year-old fathers of 3.
I do, but no.
Exactly like what? Well, congrats, Charles Leclerc, on the birth. We love to see it for you.
Did you see Oscar's mom's response?
I did see Oscar's mom's response.
Like,
Oscar
questions.
Questions.
Yes, and we will actually get a little bit more into this discussion of F1 family trees and parentage a little bit later. We'll get into that a little bit later. We will, because I have visuals for you. I have visuals.
All right.
So
you know me, I like a good visual.
We will get into it. All righty. So this week it was the Imola GP. Woo, 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 woo. Or shall I say, the Formula One MSC Cruises Gran Premio di Mare in Italy e dell'Emilia Romagna 2024.
What the fuck?
I like the Italian accent. It was quite.
I tried.
I thought it was quite good.
It's
I appreciate the love. It was first added to the official F1 calendar in 1980. It clocks in at 4.9 kilometers, 63 laps, and the lap record was set by Lewis Hamilton back in 2020. Sorry.
Oh my God, don't die, please.
I won't. So, jumping right into quali, and I can't remember if this happened before or after quali, so I will be including it in my list of things under quali. Mm-hmm. And that is the 44-33 agenda was revived this weekend, people. Max and Lewis interactions at an all-time high this weekend. Okay, first.
But he's not even, that's not his number anymore.
Yes, but that's not the point. That's not the point. Girl, that's not the point. Okay, anyway.
Wait, first, what's his number currently?
1.
1, because he's a champion.
He's a winner, baby.
So,
do you get to keep the number 1 if you're a champion, or
yeah, okay. You can only have number 1 if you're a champion. You don't have to.
Lewis has never taken number 1.
I was about to say, I was like, I don't remember. I never heard
he's
of
always
having
44.
Yes. Which was one of my numbers in basketball.
Also, if you take number 1, someone else can take your other number
after like 3 or 4 years of unuse.
Yeah.
So in theory, if a new driver came in like a year or 2, they could steal 33, but it'll be like a big fuck you. It'll be a pretty big fuck you. So
would it really?
We'll see if that happens. Yeah, because it's like, bitch, you basically know that my number's on hold until I lose. Like, if I lose. So unless you're saying, I think you're going to retire at your, and never lose.
Peak.
I guess, thanks. But if I do lose, you've now shafted me.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
You kept winning, but anyway.
So, we have multiple Lewis Max interactions. First, on the little, driver, cart thing where they, all get into, a tractor and they just ride around the track.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of kikiing. Lewis, for once, did not have his AirPods in. Maybe they died or something. Lewis didn't have his AirPods in, and he was choosing to talk to Max.
Only person, when they're in the back for the driver's parade, the only person he ever talks to is Valtteri.
That's normally true. But this week, it was Max. He was kikiing and giggling with my man Max.
Off of it.
Number 1.
They like each other. They just tolerate each other.
And that's enough for me. Then, secondly, Lewis took the sound mic thing, the boom mic, and dipped it down into the conversation, and they were all having a great time, all big friends, and that's what I love to see.
It's so awkward sometimes
boys.
Because I don't know. For sometimes it seems okay. So there's a clear divide, I think, in the grid. You have your Alex, your George, your Lando. I think they all came in at the same time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they're friends. The three of them are
and then you
independently friends.
have the like Charles, the Max. Who else is in that little group?
Alex is kind of there.
Yeah.
I feel sad because Logan's like all by himself.
I definitely
he's talked about the fact he's really like by himself.
And then like Oscar wants to be by himself.
It's very sad.
Wait, what do you mean Oscar wants to be by himself?
Oscar does not like people.
Which I leave my man alone.
Like I know, I can't say he doesn't like people. He's just he seems like he keeps himself on purpose. Like I think Logan like would like to be included, but isn't. I think Oscar's like, don't include me.
Well, anyway.
But yeah,
anyway,
I did see them kind of like kiki, and I thought it was like, oh, okay, that's cute.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you're gonna talk about Sebastian Vettel.
Oh my gosh, yes, I forgot. So
his tribute to
Senna. Yes. For reasons that I think would be obvious to anybody who knows about Senna's life, I don't keep up with fucking Senna remembrance and that shit. I don't keep up with pedophiles. So, like, what? Yeah, Senna canonically dated a 15-year-old when he was like 30-something.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, I don't tend to keep up with the Senna tea just because I don't care.
No.
But I will keep up with it in this very moment. Seb did a Senna tribute where he drove his car, his McLaren, I believe. And he drove it around, he waved the Brazilian flag, did a little tribute to Senna, which, super fun and cute. I believe Seb owns that car.
Oh, okay.
So, like, a lot of people were like, why is Seb driving it? Why isn't one of the McLaren boys? It's like, because Seb owns it. It's his car. That's like asking why is Charles allowed to drive his fucking Ferrari Pista? Because he owns it. It's his car.
No, it was. Oh, well, I guess I don't know if people know, but Art and Senna died
at Imola. Yeah, Art and Senna died.
1993, 4. Let me check.
Wasn't it like a?
I want to say it's 1993, but I actually need to check that year because.
I think Art and Senna died in 1994. Yeah, because this was the 30th. Yeah, so that was Seb's tribute to him to drive around in the McLaren.
And it was kind of funny. I'm sure you saw this, but like, I guess Seb had all of the drivers wearing like their Brazilian Art and Senna shirts, and everyone did wear them except for who? Afsa?
Afsa not wear his because it was stolen. Actually.
It was stolen.
Him and Valtteri's shirts were both stolen. Let me say
something. Valtteri was never going to wear that because Valtteri was in his entire biking gear.
And guess what? His shirt was stolen, okay? His shirt was stolen. Stop trying to come for my man and I will check for you. I will come for him
at every single opportunity I see fit. Anyway. So they did like
I will say it was mad awkward, the picture of all of them in their yellow and then Max.
Yes, his shirt was stolen.
Like a yellow shirt or a white shirt, but he had to go and wear his full Red Bull shirt, his Red Bull jacket, his Red Bull hat.
Because he came to the track in his Red Bull gear.
Wear a white shirt.
Expecting to be given the shirt. And there was no shirt.
No, it was just those two.
Right. Okay. So what's the verdict on the stolen shirts? What is it?
The verdict is that Seb literally told people, yeah, their shirts got stolen.
Are you sure Seb is not covering for them?
How? From where?
Oh my gosh. Fine. I will look up the stupid stolen shirts.
I don't need to look it up. I know it that was said. I'm just saying that I can see Valtteri, he was going to wear his biking gear because Valtteri's OCD or is over the top when it comes to his biking. Like, I don't understand what marathon or what, Tour de France he's participating in.
It was like him,
but he was in
Lewis, and
biking.
I forget who else was biking, but it was the three of them, and he was just like...
Lewis was on a scooter.
On a scooter. Charles was riding a bike.
Okay, I do have to say, it is like, it's like apparently weirdly up in the air. Like, there's numerous articles saying that the shirts were stolen. There's Reddit people saying there's videos of Max being offered a shirt. I don't know. And frankly,
so
I do not care.
Was there actual slander or was
not
it
Max declining a shirt?
I don't
anyway?
It was a
but yeah, I thought it was interesting seeing that Charles and Lewis are it seems to me like those were kind of becoming buddies, and I thought I was like,
they've been chatty. They've been chatty.
Future
I'm like, that's
besties,
cute.
And then also his lifelong bestie Valtteri was in the mix.
That's true. I do have to say, before we move on from this topic of Senna, the one thing that I do like about Senna is that back when there was like the Senna Prost rivalry, was also when Nelson Piquet, Kelly Piquet's father, was in F1. They were Prost and Piquet, mostly Piquet.
That's Max's girlfriend.
Yes.
Okay.
They were trying to spread rumors that that Senna was gay, and Senna's response was, "Ask Piquet's wife if she thinks I'm gay."
Woo!
Because Senna had fucked Piquet's wife.
Wow. Okay.
Like go to like insult for people he doesn't like is that they're gay.
Yeah, that is Piquet's go-to insult.
I hate that. That's so stupid. That's so fucking dumb.
I mean, that's the best way to shut somebody up.
Yeah, ask your wife if I'm gay. Because I fucked your bitch.
You Jesus Christ. Never mind.
West Side. Anyway. Getting into actual quali, it was pretty par for the course.
Yeah.
Normal quali, Max got pole. The McLarens did manage to pull out a 2 and a 3, except McLaren as a team sucks, and so they did not inform Oscar of the fact that he was accidentally impeding somebody, so Oscar got dropped down 3 places. We cry every time. But I do have to remind the people that before the penalty, Oscar out-qualified Lando. I'll make the rules.
It was good. I think overall this weekend was a little bit boring, especially coming off of like Miami being so like rah. But let it go. Your man lost, and the guy you really don't like won.
Sorry, girl.
Anyway, but no, like I thought qualifying was boring. Oh, Alonso struggled.
Oh my gosh, yes, Alonso City Girls down 10,000 this week.
10,000.
I like he was getting his ass kicked.
And he hasn't been performing that well.
He really hasn't.
Well, I think the first couple of races he did. No?
Not really. I think they have like almost half, maybe a third of the points they did at this point last year.
Yeah.
But they're not doing good. So rip Aston Martin.
Yeah, and obviously Stroll's not doing anything.
Yeah, I was like, the only other hope is Stroll.
But yeah, like I was kind of surprised. I was kind of wondering, like, I didn't actually go and look to see what Aston Martin, what Alonso said about like what was wrong with the car. But yeah,
suffice to say, something's wrong with it because Alonso should and can be better.
Yeah.
So yeah. Qualifying, pretty general. Then we get to the race. I have to say my one note of the race and what I have to say. Do I hate seeing McLaren successful? Yes. Do I hate seeing Max threatened? Yes. I love Mad Max. I love when Max is a little bitch on the radio. And he really brings out his little bitch when somebody's directly behind him, about to overtake him potentially. So I personally benefited significantly from Max winning, but being threatened.
It was hard as something or whatever when it was finished.
I like that he was threatened going down to the last lap because it also means like, at least to me, it means that the gap is closing a little bit and it makes it a more competitive season. Like last year was so boring watching Max just watching him like completely dominate the field. It is nice to see that these other teams have like a car that's decent or, in the
I'd enjoy it more if other teams had this kind of car. If Ferrari had this kind of car, I'd probably be hooting and hollering.
I think you have to let that go.
I can't let that
For
go.
the good of the sport.
And as somebody who's going to be a Ferrari fan next year, you should be rooting on McLaren's downfall as well.
Listen, I will always root. I am more of a positive, rooter. But then I also root for the downfall of Max Verstappen every race weekend. So, but it's only Max. Like it could be maybe not Lance, but anybody else on the grid who won, I'd be like, well, except maybe George.
Jesus Christ, Max.
Okay, maybe
Make
not.
up your mind. Who do you like? Who do you not like? Jesus Christ.
Actually,
no, ma'am.
No, I don't deal with the Lance win. I think the only person I actively root against is Max.
Bitch, make up your mind.
No, actually, that's it. I just actively root against Max.
The only person I actively root against is Lando. But everybody else
root against a team, not even like a person.
Well, yes, that is as a future Ferrari fan. I have to get my McLaren hating in early, so it's a habit by the time that I actually am Forza Ferrari sampling.
One of these days, we're actually really going to do a deep dive into the Ferrari McLaren feud and everything it entails, because it's. I mean, like, I get it, but I'm also like...
So it's like a legit feud, like all-out feud.
Yes.
Like, it's not just they don't like each other.
Many Ferrari fans will say you cannot be a true Ferrari fan if you like McLaren.
Yeah.
Which I agree. But, yes.
And then, like, if you like McLaren, you're usually not...
a Ferrari.
Yeah. So, I mean... Whatever.
Lando laps.
Whatever. But no, I actually liked, I could say, like, once it was like lap 62 and everyone's like, oh my gosh, is 1 second behind Max. And I was like, I don't think he's going to catch up, but it's interesting.
Yeah, unless Max fucks up.
It made me sit up. Actually, I was getting ready to go out, to go to church. So I was like, I actually stopped to watch, but I was like, probably not. Ooh, whoa, maybe, no, whoa. And then I was like, okay, race over. It was kind of like, I don't know if you remember that race after when Lewis was down. I forget where it was.
Was it Brazil?
Where he's like down, like
Brazil 2021
tire. You can see.
Oh no! I know what you're talking about. You can see Max approaching the background.
So,
slowly. Felicia, for record, there was a race. I think it was I think it was Hungary one year.
I think it's Silverstone, but I don't know.
I don't think it was Silverstone. I think it was Hungary.
Okay.
And Lewis gets a puncture.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, his tire blows up. He has a fucking flat tire. And I believe he has a flat tire on the second to last lap of the race. Max is 30 seconds behind to start. Obviously, you drive significantly slower with a flat tire. So Lewis is just trudging along, trying to go fast, like trying to keep up the speed, right? Max, they are in Max's ear going, Max, this motherfucker's got a flat tire. If you got anything left, hit the gas, baby. So Max is pursuing. Max is hitting the curb. He's going so fast. And you just see Lewis going slower than he should be, but still going pretty fast.
Yeah.
And you just see him, and like the commentary is going insane because obviously he has a flat tire on the second last lap. They're like, oh, so he's retiring the car. He's fucked. But no.
Oh, God.
No, and you see that Max gets within like 3 seconds right before Lewis like crosses the finish line.
Jesus. I'm gonna send you the clip. One of the aerial views, you see Lewis get on the track, and literally you just see all of a sudden Max comes, and you just see them like he's obviously like.
Oh, you were right. It was the British.
Oh, okay, and he's right behind him, and he's like, "You're like what?" It was actually really good. It's a really good clip on, I think, YouTube. You should go look for it.
Yeah, I just.
But
sent it.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of this one. Obviously, Max didn't have like any tire issues, but it was interesting to see kind of Lando slowly but steadily try and walk him down, but he didn't, obviously. But it was slowly. But yeah, it would remind me. And at one point, I think like when it happened, when Lewis was driving, like his like the tire basically just like was like
off.
Scrap.
Yeah, the tire was basically
it just ripped off, and then it got like stuck at one point. So like there was nothing, like he was getting nothing on that.
He was driving on 3 wheels, true.
Basically, yeah, he was riding on 3 wheels. Because like whatever like piece of tire that was left just got stuck And I was like, yeah. And you can hear like even Bono's expression.
It's like he's just telling him like
the radio.
He's just like 23 seconds.
Yeah.
18 seconds. Like letting him know how that's
I know.
I was like, shut the fuck up. Oh no, when he fucking passes me.
He's like, I know what I'm doing, but he's like, I got it. I know. He's coming. You don't have to keep telling me.
I do have to say that is my favorite radio to hear from drivers. I actually think it's the funniest thing they can do because it's the most relatable they ever get, right? It's when they are either being chased or chasing, and their race engineer comes over to tell them, admittedly, probably helpful information, and they're just like, shut the fuck up! I know!
I feel him breathing down my neck.
Oh my fucking neck. Okay? The next time you need to tell me something is after he's passed me to tell me what mode to switch to.
Oh, and that was also another issue. When Lewis crossed the finish line, he didn't see the checkered flag. And he kept asking me, like, is that it? Is it done? Like, he kept asking because he didn't see the checkered flag, so he was nervous, too. It was
it's a great clip. It's fantastic. Yeah. So anyway, we love the chase. No, for real. We love the chase. I love Mad Max, so I guess I get a little bit of something out of the chase, so that's good at least.
Yeah.
Now, my next note is I need Carlos to be fucking for real with these team orders. On lap fucking 3, Carlos is going, I think I'm faster than Charles, we should switch. And then they're like, the classic, like, we'll get back to you. And in the get back to you period, Carlos cooks his fucking tires and drops like an absurd amount of time behind. At some point we need to be fucking for real.
I don't understand Carlos.
I don't get him.
And I think I think that this season has made it just stand out even more. And I guess obviously because I don't know if Carlos feels like he needs to prove something, he needs to win to obviously to get a good seat or whatever. If that was his goal coming into the season, losing his seat for next year. But he is so annoying. He is so annoying. And I'm just like, okay, we get it. You think you're the greatest driver, walking, but you aren't, and he just frustrates me over the radio sometimes because I'm just like, if I was on the other end, I'd be like, shut up, but no, just drive the daggone car. Can you do that for us? If you can't, then shut up. It's just I would just get so frustrated having to listen to that. So,
yeah, literally. So, thank God they did not give in to his stupid ass team orders, and Charles managed to come away with the podium, which is my next note actually. Which online, Charles podiums are often called chodiums, and this is to my fellow Twitter users. Please.
I'm just going to say...
I'm calling them chodiums.
Please.
Chodiums?
I know, there's a big love affair that y'all have with Charles, and I get it. Chodium is not the best name for it. And also, I think that if you just had to use that terminology, I would probably save it to when Charles is on top of the podium, not necessarily just...
No, because that's a Charles win. If anything, that's a twin,
Okay.
Not a chodium. Arguably, it could be a clodium for Charles Leclerc podium. I would prefer a clodium than a chodium. I would prefer
y'all just refer to the standard English word, podium.
Well, podium. You're not on Stan Twitter. You don't get it.
I guess.
You don't get Stan Twitter.
I mean, I'm on it a little bit.
You're not on it. You're not on it. You're not
no.
And my last piece of news before we move into our ending segment, and it is news that at least 33% of this podcast will be upset to hear. With his win at the Imola GP, Max has officially surpassed Lewis's winning percentage this week.
Winning percentage, not wins. What?
And that's what I'm saying too.
Whatever.
My two men can be great. Both of my men can.
You keep trying to bring Max up to Lewis's level, and it's just not going to happen, my love.
Yes, you do. Yeah, you do.
It's because you know Lewis is up here, top of the top, creme of the crop, right? Max is just floating in the ether, right? You keep trying to give him props to level him up.
Ether's kind of crazy. The ether's kind of
the ether. I said what I said.
I think that all Max Lewis fans can acknowledge the simple theorem of mathematics, which is that there are different sizes of infinity. You know, there are infinities that are greater than other infinities. If you have an infinite amount of hotel guests and they all have 2 feet, you also have an infinite amount of feet, but you have a greater infinity amount of feet than the amount of hotel guests that you have. Max is like the infinity amount of hotel guests, and Lewis is like the amount of feet. Unarguably bigger, but both very good.
Honey, where the fuck did you get this metaphor?
I got this metaphor from the simple understanding of definitional infinity. I don't know what you want from me. That's definitional infinity right there.
The hotel guest of Lewis at the feet. What the fuck?
He's a larger infinity. Anyway, with all of that said, viewers, we're going to do our best to make this our closing segment, audio friendly as I present something to my people, because we were talking about the fact that Charles Leclerc has 3 children.
Oh, God.
Leo, Ollie, and Oscar. Now, people have different opinions on the F1 family tree. I cannot remember if the F1 family tree that I'm about to show was made before or after that. Right? It was made before. Okay.
Oh my God.
I would like to draw our attention to this F1 family tree. Right? Viewers, what we are looking at right now is a whole list of F1 drivers. Right? And essentially it lays them out into a family tree. You know? Who are the descendants? You know, the which way. It denotes what F1 drivers in this family tree are married versus which ones have had flings. And then it denotes who are the F1 children of each people. For example, right?
Sorry.
A notable one to point out here is that it does have Lewis and Nico having been married but divorced and producing no F1 children, which is controversial. A lot of people feel like George is Lewis and Nico's F1 child because of his cuntiness. Plus, notably, this F1 family tree has Sebastian Vettel having previously been married to Kimi Räikkönen and Mark Webber. If we will all remember, I believe at this point, second longest fanfic on AO3 is Mark Webber and Sebastian Vettel. It is longer than the Bible, I believe, at this point.
What?
For a little bit of context of how long that thing's got. Notable
People
new age.
Find hobbies. Like actual hobbies.
This is a hobby.
Right. Maybe find.
This is a hobby. Notable moments. Anyway,
this is not a hobby. This is an obsession.
This is a hobby. Notable inclusions on this F1 family tree, because there are people that we have talked about in this podcast. Max Verstappen is the child of a fling between Fernando Alonso and Kimi Räikkönen. I feel like that's pretty accurate. Charles Leclerc is the child of a currently ongoing marriage between Lewis and Sebastian. Suis stands forever. We also do note George Suis, Sebastian and Lewis. Notably, George Russell is the child of a fling between Jenson Button and Nico Rosberg. And Liam Lawson is the child of a marriage between Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, who in this tree is also married to his girlfriend Alexandra to produce Leo Leclerc. So, very fun. If you're interested in F1 family trees, just Google it. There's plenty of them. And there's a lot that you can learn about F1 history, actually, from these family trees, because as much as my 2 co-hosts are laughing, All of these connections come from actual things that have happened in F1, right? We call back to notable conflict between Mark and Sebastian via their divorce, Multi-21, same thing with Kimi and Sebastian being at Ferrari together. We call back to the notable relationships between Lewis and Nico and Sebastian, Michael Schumacher's mentorship of Sebastian Vettel. We have lots of things on here that are truly just history sharing conglomerated onto a family tree.
This is hilarious. But also, I love that George is called the cunt-in-law.
Yes, he is the cunt-in-law, which is great. With all of that said, though, I do have to say, what I brought up this family tree for is, as we noted, Nico and Lewis's F1 family tree divorce, previously a marriage, did not yield any children on this F1 family tree. So I come to this council today to ask,
oh my God,
if Nico and Lewis had an F1 child, who would be their F1 child?
I don't know that much about Nico, I have to admit. So I don't know.
He's cunty. He's what? Cunty. He's from Monaco. He's cunty. He is from Monaco. They used to call him Brittany for his beautiful flowing blonde locks.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah, he used to have longer hair.
He did used to have longer hair. It looks like he's growing it out, and also that he may have stopped getting his Botox. Win for the king. I prefer Nico without Botox personally.
No.
I will say, me personally, if we're talking about purely like literal F1 connections, I do think Kimi Antonelli is a good child for them because he drove for a Rosberg team, but he has notably been like connected with Lewis Hamilton through like meet and greets and like mentorship. So I think that could be a good F1 child for them. I do spiritually think that George Russell should be the child.
I was just about to say George. I was going to ask, like, what are the parameters? Like, it had to be someone new who's not technically on.
No. You can say that you think that
Yeah, George is giving me like personality wise, he's giving me a little bit of Lewis and Nico. I was like actual like driving wise, maybe a little bit of like a Max. You what?
I said I kind of agree, especially if we're talking about who would like 2014 to 2016 Nico and Lewis have birthed.
Yeah,
before the divorce.
It was definitely.
It's definitely Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way.
Because they were both like an actual.
Yeah.
Terror.
Yeah.
And like not even like I don't even like in a good way and also in a bad way.
Yeah, there are levels to this shit.
But yeah, so I would say personality-wise, it's giving more a little bit George, but driving-wise, I would say a Max. I'm trying to think, is there anyone else who could possibly have been?
I think if we go, I think Charles is one. I think Charles does not have the blunt media edge that Nico has. Where Nico, oftentimes, especially if you watch clips that he did while he was just like vlogging about F1, it is this like, I call it faux vulnerability, where you say things transparently, but you're not being vulnerable. But also simultaneously, that's also how he would approach his commentary about other people. So, for example, Nico's obsessed with Lewis, as we all know. And so he was commenting, I think it was in Germany, where Lewis won and Sebastian Vettel did not. And he was going on and on about how great Lewis is. Lewis pulled out a great win and seamlessly transitions and follows it up into what a dark day for Sebastian Vettel. Imagine losing this spectacularly in front of your home crowd. I would die if I ever did something this absolutely horrible and such a disappointment. Basically is what he says. But he transitions it with the ease and just talking nature where it's like he's just talking. He didn't even pause for dramatic effect. He just said it. And that made it more dramatic that he just casually was just like, imagine being as much of a disappointment as Sebastian Vettel is to the German people. And I was
oh my God.
Gagged. But yeah, I wanted to show you all the F1 family tree. Like I said, people have made many iterations. So I'm sure you can find an F1 family tree that you agree with. on the internet. And I encourage you to look them up because they're fun and they're cute. With all of that said,
next race is Monaco, which is
Monaco this weekend.
Kind of destined to be a
snooze.
It's a boring race, unfortunately.
It'll be a snooze, probably.
It'll be a very pretty race.
It'll be a very pretty race. Crack open some mimosas.
Unless there's like a crash or something. Which I shouldn't wish that. I shouldn't say that. But, unless there's something like that happens like that or some like actual like car
mechanical failure.
Yeah, mechanical failure. Great.
I'll take a mechanical
track and does not harm
maybe
anybody.
A brake fire or two.
A tire fire.
Whose tire caught on fire? Somebody's tire's caught on fire. That one. Mm-hmm. And I love how they were just like, oh yeah, it'll go out. The fuck? It's on fire.
Because it will.
It will.
It will. When you stop using your brakes, it will go out.
Yeah.
Fire. All right.
But it was already out of the fix, so it didn't matter.
It was how casually they said it. Oh yeah, it'll go out in a minute. Yeah.
That's how it'd be. All right, viewers. Well, I gotta go catch the Survivor finale after I make myself some dinner. So we would love to see you rate, review, subscribe, tune in, share the podcast, do whatever it is you want to do to interact with our podcast further. Make sure that you share this with the people who you think would be your once marriage, now divorced partner on the F1 family tree. Who would be your child? Question down to hash out with them.
Ooh, who are you having your love child with?
Who are you having your love child with on the F1 family tree? We will see you all again next week for the Monaco Grand Prix. I hope you all enjoy that absolute parade that we're going to have this weekend. I will personally be many mimosas in because of it. I'll be having a delicious brunch with the homies while I drink my mimosas. So
I'll be in South America.
Cheers. Philly will be supposedly in South America. News to me.
I will be at home.
Okay, Papa. I guess. Have fun. And Bex, also have fun at home. This will be great. I will also be in a home.
Sounds good.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right. Bye, viewers.
Bye.
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 Welcome to Three Girls, One Track, your go-to podcast for listening to two sisters and their cousin try and get into Formula One. We're here to break down the ins and outs of what happens on the track and especially what happens off of it. Listen in weekly to get your fill of F1 gossip, race outcomes, and which Lewis Hamilton Fashion Week outfit we thought was the hottest.